Hi everybody, this is Lara with your Monday to Friday update for Bitcoin, Ethereum and XRP. I'm going to tentatively note this rather small inverted head and shoulders pattern on Bitcoin today. I think it might be a bit too small, but it has a pretty good look. So I'm going to say that this is probably the inverted head. Here's the right hand shoulder, and I'd say this is the left hand shoulder. You could argue that it would be here, but if it's there, then the neckline has quite a strong slope. So a more shallow sloping neckline would have a better probability. If price closes above that neckline on an upward session with push from volume, I expect if it's coming soon, that price point would be 44,018.89. Then we would have the breakout from the inverted head and shoulders pattern, and we could use the target I calculated at 49,362. The breakout from the neckline of the inverted head and shoulders would probably be also a breakout around about resistance, about 44,700. That's kind of close-ish. Next resistance along the way up, I expect again to be found about 48,000. Get some free giveaways today to help you with your technical analysis. Click on the link below to go to my website and you can download one or more of these 3 giveaways. I have an ebook on technical analysis basics for you. These are the contents of the ebook, several chapters on some basics, some indicators, some techniques, looking at gaps, looking at scale for your charts, and I've even got 2 steps to a high probability trade setup there for you. Another free giveaway is this easy candlestick pattern guide to the major candlestick reversal patterns, bullish and bearish, diagrams, descriptions of how they should be read and in what context. And a third giveaway, I have this Elliott Wave structure guide, 3 pages giving you all of the Elliott Wave structures with all of the rules you need to know and diagrams of the ideal form for each. Motive structures on 1 page and all of the corrective structures on 2 pages. So click on the link below and get any one or all of these 3 giveaways for free. Price is moving sideways and overall volume is declining. Previously, volume was very strongly pushing price higher, and then as price started to fall, volume initially strongly pushed price lower. So it's unsurprising we got some downward movement. On balance, volume is within a nice range. If we see a break above the resistance line, I will expect an imminent break above the neckline of the inverted head and shoulders pattern. We've used this before, guys, with all 3 of these, Bitcoin, Ethereum and XRP. This is one of my favorite ways to use on balance volumes. Sometimes it breaks out of a consolidation zone just before price breaks out and gives you an advance warning of the direction of an imminent breakout from price, which is really good to have. ADX is declining, it's now below 15, beautiful, setting itself up for a very strong signal. At this time, no clear trend is indicated. RSI is neutral, money flow remains neutral. ATR continues to decline, price is weak up off that last low. That's quite normal behaviour for cryptocurrencies, unfortunately, and is one of the features of them that makes their sustainable lows very difficult to identify, and sometimes not until weeks or maybe even months, usually weeks, that until you see that you start to have strength in volume and an increase in volatility and upward movement to tell you that the low some weeks ago is likely to be sustained. So you've got to be quite patient for the long-term outlook around these sustainable lows. I have 2 Elliott Wave counts for Ethereum. This is my main Elliott Wave count, and price is nicely finding support at the lower edge of this channel. I've drawn it from this low here, which is the 12th of October, to this low here, which is the 23rd of January, a parallel copy up here, found resistance here, pullback, found support here. Next time price comes up to test resistance, I'll expect it's quite likely to see a breakthrough above. If we see a new high above 2455.87, we can have confidence in this main Elliott Wave count because that's in validation of this alternate. This alternate considers what if the pullback is not over, what if it's continuing further. It could be an expanded flat, but this wave count has quite a low probability. The biggest problem now is the size of subminuet 4 within minuet C. This sees an expanded flat unfolding for the second wave correction, A, B, C, expanded flat subdivide 3, 3, 5, and the C wave usually moves substantially beyond the end of wave A. Wave C must be a 5-wave motive structure, so we can label that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 is now a lot longer in duration than 2, reducing the probability of this wave count. It's common for second and fourth waves of cryptos to be disproportionate, but the other way round. Fourth waves are commonly more brief than second waves, and uncommonly the other way around, especially when the difference is this great now. 4 here is 14 sessions and 2 was just 4 sessions, so quite a really big difference. A bit of a difference is kind of okay. Sometimes you see a bit of a difference with the fourth just a little bit longer than the second, and that's okay, but when it's this much, that's pretty unlikely. 4 may not move into 1 price territory, so a new high by any amount at any time frame above 2455.87 invalidates this alternate and gives us confidence in the main wave count. Ethereum again finding resistance at 2,400. If we can see a close above that, then expect maybe a backtest of support before moving up and away to next resistance at 3,580. The hammer candlestick pattern in the context of a pullback tells us the pullback may be over down here. A bit of a push from volume in the last upward session, strongest volume that we've had for a couple of weeks or so very nice to see a little bit of volume return to Ethereum. This is bullish. On balance's volume is within a technically weak range, no signal, and I think I'd rather wait and draw better resistance and support lines. If we see a break above the resistance line, it's going to be a very weak bullish signal. Break below support, a very weak bearish signal. The lines are too steeply sloped for good technical significance. ADX is now below 15 for Ethereum as well. The DX lines are crossing over, but there's no clear trend indicated. If the ADX line comes a little bit lower and comes up from low levels and reaches 15 with a positive slope, it's going to give us the strongest signal ADX can give. RSI is still neutral, just dipping above 50 today. Money flow is also neutral, it's below 50. ATR quite low and continuing to decline. Bit of weakness off these lows. Again, common behavior for cryptocurrencies. Quite frustrating. It makes their lows very difficult to identify. I have 3 Elliott Wave counts for XRP and I'm just going to name them 1, 2 and 3. I think the third one might have the highest probability. This is the first. It expects the pullback to continue for an intermediate degree second wave, subdividing as a zigzag A, B, C. They subdivide 5, 3, 5. So C has to be a 5-wave motive structure. The middle of a third wave needs to pass, and then we need to see 1, 2, 3, 4 fourth wave corrections, bounces or consolidations which must remain below their respective first wave price territories. So quite a lot of work to do along the downside for this Elliott Wave count to complete the correction, and to see intermediate 2 reach a more normal depth, 80 to 90%. The length of intermediate wave 1 would be achieved at 0.40954 to 0.34447. Second Elliott Wave count, I'm seeing still a zigzag from intermediate 2, but instead of B a zigzag over here, what if it was a triangle, a regular contracting triangle, or maybe a regular barrier triangle? The BD trend line's reasonably flat really, isn't it? Problem here is the structure for minus C. I'm labeling it here an ending contracting diagonal, but in order for minus C to move below the end of A at 0.4456 and avoid a truncation, the fifth wave of this ending contracting diagonal is going to have a huge overshoot of the 1-3 trend line. Now they do usually, really commonly, end in overshoots of the 1-3 trend line, but not a huge one like this. Only a small to reasonable one. This one, it's just looking wrong. But this is looking okay. What if intermediate 2 was over here as a zigzag, and now intermediate 3 is in its early stages, with minor 1 complete here, minor 2 a complete double zigzag, very deep, and now a third wave at minor, intermediate, primary, and cycle degree could be in its very, very early stages for XRP. If minor 2 continues any lower, it may not move beyond the start of 1. This idea would be invalid with a new low by any amount at any time frame below 0.4456, because all bar 1 Elliott Wave rule is absolute. They are black and white, which is one of the really nice things that I like about Elliott Wave. You know exactly when your wave count is just flat out wrong and when you've got to go to the next probabilistic scenario. Real quick technicals for XRP. This is one of the reasons why my more bullish Elliott Wave count I think has a higher probability. There is now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hammer candlestick patterns all around support, just a little bit above 0.4875. So it suggests that we may have a low in place here or coming up a lot sooner rather than later. Price is moving sideways and overall volume is declining. No change there. On balance, volume has a little range, no new signal. ADX is slightly declining. There's no clear trend indicated anymore. The downward trend reached extreme, but not very extreme. It's extreme when the ADX line gets above both DX lines, very extreme when the ADX line is also above 45. RSI is neutral, money flow is neutral, and ATR is also declining for XRP. Bit of a nothing day for them all, really, isn't it? Just all moving sideways with pretty weak volume and declining range. Ethereum had the best day of all of them, though. Bit of upward movement with a bit of push from volume. Nice to see. That's it for me today, and I hope everyone is looking forward to a lovely evening.